Okay, now we're recording. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to jump on tonight. We will make this as brief and concise as possible. We are giving you enough information to make an educated decision of whether you wanted to find out more information. And like I was saying before we started the recording, my name is Trish Muhlstein. I live in Orlando, Florida. I am a mother of 4 children. I feel like I have a moral and ethical obligation to share this information with as many people as possible. I was introduced to what we're about to introduce to you 5 years ago, and what I have seen in the past 5 years, that's why I have an obligation that I need to share this with other people. Just a little bit of background on myself. I am a multiple business owner. About 20 years ago, my husband and I started a company which we threw everything we had into a company, and we were blessed enough for it to work, and we have been able to provide an amazing life, like a dream life for our children. I have since started 4 or 5 companies on my own. I own a personal training company where I train professional athletes. I do their nutrition and their supplementation. I'm working, the latest athlete I'm working with is actually on the Orlando Magic, which is very exciting, and he's part of this as well. I also own a wellness group where I coach people on how to live a holistic lifestyle and transition into that holistic lifestyle. If you don't know, I'm sure you know, everybody around you, you could probably count on your hand 10 people that you know right now that are dealing with some kind of chronic issues like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. They want to lose weight. They're not sleeping well. Their children have multiple issues, ADHD, focus issues, autism. Everyone around us is having some kind of health issues. And the number one thing is, you've got to take care of your health. So that's really why I share this information. So when I took a look at this, like someone showed this to me 5 years ago, I was immediately attracted to it. And I was immediately attracted because it could provide, I was a multiple business owner, single mom of 4 kids. So I was looking for a way to make sure that my children had the nutrition and the health that they needed to make it through the day and to be productive, because we were running around. I was going to football practice and everywhere else, and it was crazy. And so this was an easy way for me to have kind of like a health insurance policy with my family and ensure that we were getting the right health. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen, and we are going to go to our business partner, Rachel Garcia, who is a physician's assistant, practicing medicine for 17 years, and she is going to show you or tell you a little bit about what we're so excited to share with you guys tonight. So without further ado,
and welcome.
Rachel Garcia.
My name is Rachel Garcia. I'm coming to you live from Jacksonville, Florida with some information that could be totally life-changing for you and your family. I know that's a very strong statement to make. In fact, if someone had said that to me when I first looked at this back in 2008, I probably would have laughed at them. I agreed to take a look at this as a favor to my brother. I tried to tell him no. He said, don't say no without knowing what you're saying no to. Give me an educated no. And I said, okay, well, that makes sense. So I'll give you an educated no. I'll take a look at it and throw it off to the side. But when I looked at it, I knew right away that I was meant to be involved with this company. Since jumping in back then in 2008, we've changed our finances. We've changed our family's health. I've changed the health and finances of thousands of other people by getting involved with this company. I don't know if it's for you or not, but whoever invited you here tonight thinks that it might be for you. And so I have the honor of giving you hopefully enough information that you can make an educated decision about whether or not you're interested in learning more. So the name of our company is PURE. It stands for People United Reaching Everyone. And I have found in the last 10 years that there are 2 groups of people that are really attracted to what we have. One is very interested in the health aspect. That was me. I'm a physician assistant. I've been practicing medicine for almost 17 years. I became a PA in 2001. That was after going to the University of Florida and then going down to Miami to get my master's degree and board certified to practice medicine. And so I was in the OR half the week. I was seeing 50 to 70 patients a day. The other days of the week, writing over 100 prescriptions a day. And I was very busy. And when I was introduced to this, I was already really into health and nutrition, and they were speaking my language and knew that they knew what they were talking about. And that caught my attention. Now, there's a whole second group of people who aren't into health and nutrition. They maybe think they should be. It doesn't really interest them. They think it's too expensive. They think it's too overwhelming, but they don't really like where their life is going right now. And so this may be for you for this aspect, and it might not be. But if you're looking for a better way to take care of your family's health, you're going to love what we have here. Second group of people is very interested in the additional income potential I'm about to talk to you about. I help people make anywhere from $100,000 to $20,000 on a weekly basis. You can do whatever you want to do here. And I will tell you that I've become very good in 10 years at helping any kind of person from any walk of life to create any kind of income stream that they want. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company. It's a 10-year-old company. We have investors like Phil Knight. If you don't know who he is, he's the 27th wealthiest man in the world. He became the 27th wealthiest man in the world because of the first company that he started, which is now the largest shoe company in the world. He was involved with taking that company public, and since he's come on board with our company, he's involved with taking us public as well, excuse me, which is very, very exciting business to be in. When we're a small company that's done 100 million in sales, we've attracted someone like this, we're going places. And just so you know, about 2% of companies like this make it past the 5-year mark. We're at the 10-year mark. We're actually in our 11th year. We're going far fast. I was attracted to how the company started. As a PA, every day somebody approached me with some sort of sales company. I really had no interest in any of it. What really attracted me to this was, number one, they were speaking my language, so I knew they were speaking truth. But number two, how the company started. There was a clinical practice out in California where they taught patients how to use food to get this amazing machine working the way it was supposed to be working. And after 30 years of seeing patients, there was a 3-year waiting list for people to get into the clinic. They said, people shouldn't have to wait 3 years to get this information. We're going to start a company, but we're only going to spread the information by word of mouth. Instead of spending millions of dollars on marketing firms to hire like Sprint and AT&T and Verizon do, we're just going to pay the money we would use for marketing to people who already believe in what we're doing and pay them to refer people to us. And so whoever invited you to take a look at this really believes in what we have here and is asking you to take a look, having no idea if it will interest you or not. I'll tell you another thing I've learned in 10 years is you never know who needs what. I mean, when people are walking around living paycheck to paycheck, they don't walk around with a sign on their head that says, I'm broke and need help. We don't do that. You don't advertise it to the world. You may tell 1 or 2 people, but you don't advertise it to the world. The other thing we don't do is we don't walk around with our illnesses on a sign or posting it on Facebook. Most people don't anyways. I'm constipated. I wake up with joint pain every day. My child has anxiety issues and is on medications. So we don't always know who needs this. So whoever invited you doesn't know if you need this or not, but they thought, maybe I could change your life by sharing this with you. The company distributes these amazing plant-based whole raw food products that far surpass anything I have ever used in my life. And I've used a lot of different products. It simplified my life by getting it all from one place and gave us results like I never, ever had seen from any other company. And that was just in my first couple of weeks. It's now been 10 years, and I feel so passionate about the quality and results that what this company has delivered that I've actually walked away from practicing medicine to give my full-time attention to getting this message out. You see, this is an online membership club. Some people come to Pure just to purchase products, kind of like we purchase products from Costco, right, or Amazon, but then there's a referral aspect. There's a whole group of people that feel so passionate about what this company's done for them in their lives that they decide to tell others about it. And the company says, thank you so much for sharing it with others. We're actually going to pay you a percentage of all the orders that come in as a result of you sharing it. I had no intention of sharing it when I got started. I joined for the simplicity, and I joined because I knew they knew what they were talking about, just from the basic things I heard in the first presentation. I stuck because of the very real results, not only in my family, but in multiple thousands of other people's lives and families since then. In my life, my insomnia resolved in days. And I was healthy, but I got less than 4 to 6 hours of sleep at night. When I laid down on my pillow, my mind would race, to the point that I kept a notebook next to my bed in case I woke up and forgot what it was that I had been thinking about. When that disappeared within a couple of days, it was interesting. I wasn't sure it was the results of this, but it was interesting. My son's horrible constipation issues that he struggled with at the age of 3. He would have 1 to 2 bowel movements a week. He would bleed and cry. It was horrible. When that disappeared at the end of the first week, I was very interested. And I started taking really serious note of what was happening. When my husband, who'd struggled with severe depression, suddenly had no more dips in depression and no more anger outbursts, about 6 weeks in, I decided this was a big deal. I decided that more people needed to know about it. See, I wrote prescriptions every day, and I knew the power of giving people food that had no side effects versus giving people medications that had side effects. And I knew this was something powerful that needed to be shared. People ask all the time, my sister does something like this. How is Pure different? Well, I, for one, saw some sort of a company probably almost daily, definitely weekly when I practiced medicine. People would sell me all kinds of products, all of my patients would. And I would say there's a number of things that makes Pure different. I'm gonna kind of address you as a business person first, because I think if you're gonna look at this for the business side, you need to be thinking this way. My husband and I are entrepreneurs. We've started multiple businesses in the last 20 years since we've been married. And these are things that we've always looked at. Number one, what is the demographic that your products are for? Is it just for the people who struggle with weight? Granted, that's a massive demographic, but it's not everyone. It's not the kids, most of them. It's not the people who don't struggle with weight. Is it just for women who put expensive skincare on their face? I used to own an expensive skincare store. I'm going to tell you that demographic is very small. And when the economy crashes, those people, that's the first thing to go from their monthly budget. This is for everyone. Every man, every woman, every child, their parents, their children, even their dogs and their cats. Anybody who has a body at some point in their life is concerned about how this is running. And if they're smart, and I'll tell you, most educated and affluent people are already making sure to put the right things in their body, because if you don't take care of this, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how much time freedom you have, if you're laid up in bed or you're in a wheelchair and you can't even go walk around the block. Everybody should be interested in what I'm sharing with you today. The next thing that's very interesting about what we have is that we're consumable. So I have this necklace that I usually show. I can use these earrings. Bought these at a friend's jewelry party a couple years ago. I don't buy jewelry monthly. I don't know how many people would buy jewelry monthly. It's a one-time purchase. This is something that most people, I'm going to tell you the number of people, repurchase over and over and over again. You buy it, you consume it, it's gone. You need more, you have to buy more. That's a consumable product. It's a good business to sell consumable products rather than products that just sit on your desk and never go anywhere. What I think really makes us different, and again, the reason I'm still here, is that 85 out of 100 people repurchase the products over and over and over again. Now, as a clinician who has a master's degree in clinical medical sciences, who pharmaceutical reps used to sit for hours to wait for me to give them 5 minutes of my time so that they could sell me on why this antibiotic is better than this one. Let me show you the studies. You see, I wanted to know why. Why, even though I was already spending $100 a month, hundreds of dollars a month, much more than I spend here on supplementation, because I'd learned the importance of that when my nephew was diagnosed with severe autism. I'd learned the importance of getting the toxins out. I'd learned the importance of putting the best of the best nutrition in your body, because our foods are not delivering what they were delivering when our grandparents were consuming them. Multiple agricultural studies have shown that. I was buying the best of the best, but my insomnia was still there. What made this different? So I started researching these foods, and I was blown away with what I found. And I came to the conclusion that the reason we have such powerful results is because our products revolve around this 3-tiered philosophy. It's a centuries-old philosophy that revolves around plant food nutrition. Plant food nutrition. Cleanse your body of the toxins you've been consuming since you were in your mother's womb. You have lost your mind if you think you're not consuming toxins every day. In the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the food we're consuming. Not to mention what your kids are consuming. Just like we cleanse the oil out of our car every 3 months, we've got to cleanse the toxins out of our bodies. You might think, well, I have bowel movements every day. That's just one of the organs you eliminate through. We eliminate through our lungs, our liver, our skin, our lymphatic system, kidneys, blood, and intestines. And if you're not cleansing those areas, when you put good stuff in, your body's so jacked up it can't even absorb it. So once you've gotten cleansed, you've now got to put good things in. Good things in that balance your pH, balance your hormone levels. Did you know your body can balance your hormone levels naturally? Do you struggle with hot flashes? Do you struggle with thyroid issues? You get the toxins out and you put massive amounts of plant-based nutrition that cover all of the bases that your body and your cells require to function. Amazing things can happen with those hormones and those pH levels. We've got to build ourselves up with good nutrition. Vitamins A, D, E, K, magnesium, potassium, sulfur, calcium, omega-3s. These are all things that your body needs every day. But because of what we're consuming as a society, the majority of us, we're not getting even close to the nutrition we need. And everything starts to break down. We take better care of these things than we do of our bodies. We give these more rest at night. We upgrade them, we change them out, but you live in this house your whole life. You don't get a new one. Doesn't it make sense that if you're going to spend money somewhere, don't spend it on your curtains and your car and your house. Spend it on your literal house where your soul and spirit live for your whole life. My boys get more nutrition in a 5-second drink in the morning than their whole class gets in a week. How much plant-based nutrition has your family gotten in the last 24 hours? And you might say, oh, we're juicers, we're organic, we've gotten tons. Agricultural studies have shown, multiple agricultural studies, that the foods we're consuming now do not have the high nutritional content that they did when our grandparents were consuming them. The plants we're consuming now. And you can't grow omega-3s in your backyard. We have the best source of omega-3s on the planet. We have noni from the volcanic regions of the earth. It kills parasites in the gut. Do you struggle with reflux? You're going to love our noni. Do you struggle with joint pain or inflammation? You will love our mangosteen, mila, and sulfur combination. Do you struggle with migraines? Do you struggle with insomnia or restless leg syndrome? You are likely deficient in calcium, magnesium, or vitamin D. You will love our plant-based calcium product. You know what happens when you put plant-based food, nutrition in your body? Your cells pick it up fast. It's more bioavailable. We were made to eat food. We weren't made to take powdered vitamin C, slam together in a tablet and consume that and for the body to absorb that and know what it is. We were made to eat food. That's what we have here. And it is amazing. I have come to believe that almost everything we face, illnesses, diseases, whatever is coming down your genetic pipeline, whatever your parents are struggling with or your grandparents struggled with, it's coming down the pipeline towards you faster than it hit them because of the environment we're living in and the lack of nutrition. I believe that we can combat all of that better than even our parents and grandparents did if we cleanse, balance, and build ourselves up with this good nutrition. We have a whole wellness advisory board made up of medical doctors and a pharmacist who recommend this to their patients. They are educators for those of us who are out there trying to get the word out. If you join this company and you have questions, we have a group of people who answers your questions. It is awesome to have medical providers. When I first got started, there were no medical providers on board with this company. 10 years later, you guys have it so much easier than I did in the beginning. Yeah, I just went and researched noni and medical studies. I found all these studies and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be consuming noni every day. I went and researched omega-3s and medical studies and what's different. What's the difference between flax and chia? And why is our chia better than this chia? I did all this research. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Of course, they'd already done all that research in that clinical practice for 30 years. So it makes sense that they had it all figured out. 5 of our products are in the physician's desk reference. That's what I used for 17 years to write prescriptions, and our products are there. It's very validating. We're not just some, ooh, we've got some new product that somebody's got in a spray or a patch and all hyped up. This is Genesis 1:29. The oldest book of wisdom says that everything we need for these bodies to run the way they're meant to run comes from the ground. That's what we have here. The first couple years in the company, I had so many questions, and like I was just saying, I did all this research, so I put together a website for you, purelifechangers.com. It has a lot of information on it, but if you go to the products page, you'll find a lot of information specifically on the products, as well as a ton of testimonies. We also have a secret Facebook page called Changing Lives with Pure, and ask the person who invited you to add you to that page. We just have raw stories posted on there daily. People whose lives have been changed. My friend Joe's off his blood pressure and cholesterol medications after a couple months on our system. And Lori's son struggled with severe Crohn's. Crohn's is an ulcerative digestive issue. This little boy was in the car with my son the other day telling my 11-year-old, your mom changed my life. I used to be in the hospital all the time with severe stomach pain, and since I was introduced to Pure, because your mom told my mom's friend, and my mom's friend told us, I don't have to go to the hospital with severe stomach pain anymore. Tears rolling down my face as I'm driving in the front seat. This is very, very real. And there is someone in your life that I know needs this information.
So I'm going to stop that right there and jump back on to us. So that's why we share this. That story right there, I could tell you probably 300 of them, okay? And that's why we share this. So 5 years ago, I was introduced to this product. And in my family, I'm going to ask some of you guys to share that have been on the products, your story. But my story is 5 years ago, when I was introduced to this, my daughter had struggled, my 13-year-old now, so she was 8, but from birth to 8, she had struggled with severe eczema, like eczema where it would crust up and bleed. And her pacifier when she was a baby would rub here and she would bleed on her cheeks and bleed. I mean, it was so awful. And that's really what got me into holistic healing, because everything we tried on her, the steroids, the creams, the topicals, the, wrapping stuff around, nothing worked. And 5 years since we've been on this protocol, her eczema, she has not had one eczema patch. Myself, personally, I'm about to turn 50 in a couple weeks. And my blood work is absolutely perfect. I have amazing energy. About 8 months into the protocol, I noticed, which I wasn't even looking for, that I've had 4 children. So my legs were just varicose veined out, right? They were just bulging everywhere. And about 8 months into it, I noticed that they were decreasing. And after 5 years on this, no one can tell that I ever suffered with varicose veins. I also have heart disease that runs in my family. And that's the main reason, because we've had multiple early deaths from heart attacks in my family. And that's what's coming down my genetic pipeline. So this is a protocol that I can use to make sure that my heart is in perfect condition, and it is. I get it checked every year, and I have no buildup. And then also in 5 years since we've been on this protocol, my children have not been sick. We take no over-the-counter medications for anything. This whole system, when you put it in your house, you're able to manage your whole family's health by using natural products. And it's just an amazing thing. So I'm going to ask a couple people to jump on. Cindy, I'm going to unmute you because Cindy has a different story. So she's I'm going to unmute her and she's going to share with you. So go ahead, Cindy.
Yeah. Hi guys. I'm Cindy Steele. I live in Orlando, Florida, near Trish. And I do have a little different story. When I was first introduced to Pure, it was through an associate of mine. My background is in the fitness industry. I've been in health and fitness for about 15 years. And I was working daily with an ex-NFL athlete who said, I've got something I want you to take a look at. And I have to tell you, his primary purpose was to help me with my health. I have a history of being in and out of cancer clinics and hospitals, particularly throughout my 20s. I'm always struggling with a lower immune system, I guess to put it simply. But he wanted me to take a look at Pure. And when I finally did, the first thing that I actually saw 2 things. I immediately saw the ability to bring an additional income stream into my household. So I saw the ability to make money. That was my first response, was I can work this business, I can share this business. And the business model, when I looked at it, was one of the most intriguing that I'd ever seen. And I also am a multiple business owner as well, aside from just working in the fitness industry. So I was very, very attracted to the business model. The second thing that I saw was that Phil Knight, the original founder of that shoe company, is an owner and investor of this company. And I work actually in 2 months, I believe I'll be working a Nike coaches clinic. So I've worked with Nike clinics. I work with athletic directors and coaches for many years. And to see a company that he has financially backed and hopped on board with was extremely attractive. So those were the first two things that I saw. So I did jump in right away. I worked this as I worked my other businesses. I put together my personal goals for how I wanted to work this business. And Trish helped me along the way, and I immediately started making money with the company, which was great. On a second note, what happened about 3 months into using the products was that I called Trish and I'm like, I'm going to get my blood work done. This is the first time in probably 15 years that I no longer need cholesterol medication. I had a history of bleeding ulcers, and I was off my ulcer acid reflux medication. The doctor, when he saw me, said, I don't know what you're doing, but call me if you need me. So I went from being in the hospital 4 times in 2016 to starting this very simple system of nutrition in 2017, the very end of it. And it has dramatically improved my health. So I've got a story that's really twofold. The financial aspect is amazing. But the best part about this is that you really do help other people improve their lives, because if they don't have their health, it doesn't matter how much money you have. So it's a blessing both ways for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cindy. Casey, I'm going to unmute you. Can you jump on here and share your story?
I will. Well, back in February of last year, Trish got a hold of my husband and talked him into trying some of the products. And I was all about it because I had some weight I needed to lose. And a couple months later, after I'd been on the system for a good solid 2 months and had changed the way I was eating and had started losing a little bit of weight, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and immediately almost immediately got the port put in, started chemotherapy, did 6 rounds of chemotherapy. Then I had surgery to have the lump removed, and then had radiation that I just finished Christmas Eve. And I made it through all of this, and I only had 2 bouts of nausea. And yes, they give you anti-nausea medication when you get the chemo, but I really think, and I have my older sister who now takes Pure products as well. We both believe that it was the Pure system that allowed me to do so well, because I worked every day that I didn't have chemo or surgery. I even got a perfect attendance award at work this past last month, because I was able to keep going. I had all this good nutrition in my body, and just I was pretty healthy. I walked around smiling. I felt pretty good most all the time. Right after chemo wasn't so great, but I bounced back really, really quickly.
Awesome.
And because of Trish, I think this is the reason that I've done so well with my cancer treatments.
Awesome. And and you're in remission, is that what they call it?
Well, I haven't been clinically, it's not clinically like that yet, because I still get some infusions. Every 3 weeks I have to get an infusion of another, it's an antibody drug. It's not a chemo drug, but I'll do that through the end of April. And when I'm done with that, then I think that maybe I'll get that kind of word. But there were no live cancer cells found after surgery, or when they did the pathology report after surgery. Yeah.
Awesome. Yay!
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Casey.
Thank you.
I'm going to have Sarah. Where's Sarah? Sarah, I'm going to unmute you. Are you there, Sarah?
Hi. Can
You're breaking
you
up.
hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. There you are.
Sorry. Is it okay? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm like in a really bad area for reception.
No problem.
Okay. I started with the company because of Cindy. I work at a bar. I'm a bartender, and she introduced it to me there because not only am I bartending, but I'm also a health and wellness coach as well as a personal trainer. And I just really love nutrition, and I believe that food can completely change your life, and not just your body and how you look, but the way you think and the interaction that you have with people on a daily basis. So I really love the message that this company got. I started taking the products, and I was a rather healthy person. You know, I had really good nutrition just because I had a good knowledge of it. I ate pretty clean, but I still had really bad sinus problems, and I couldn't breathe very well on a regular basis. And I actually, last year, just stopped getting my period. I stopped menstruating, and the doctors were like, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with you, but there's something wrong with you, but we don't know what it is. So just, you feel okay, just go with it." I was like, okay. So I started taking these products just to see if there would be any kind of change, because I loved the idea behind them anyways. I was going to support it, but I did not expect the results that I got. And the results is that a week into taking them, my sinuses just opened up. One morning I woke up and breathing was just completely easy, and I didn't have to think about it at all. And at night, like my nose didn't stuff up at all. So that was a huge thing, just having to be able to breathe freely. And then 10 days in, all of a sudden, my period came back. I started menstruating again. And that was really funny that that happened, because I was just talking to Trish about it. And we're like, oh, yeah, it's just a thing that happens. And then 2 days later, all right, here we go. Thanks, period. Back to normal. So it's been great. It's been really nice to just feel completely normal and at ease again in my own body. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, to be considerate of time, I am going to, we are going to tell you what to do next. So, this is a very easy system. We show, share, connect. So we show you a video, which you just saw Rachel do the video presentation. We share our stories and what has happened to us, you know, being on this system, and then you connect to a leader. So the next step is to get back to the person who invited you to this presentation. Text them right away, right now, "I'm interested," or "I'm in," whatever you want to say to them. And then they will set up a call with me, and we will get on a phone call, and I will, you know, see what kind of health issues your family's dealing with, and answer your questions. And if you're interested in the referral program, like Cindy said, she was attracted to the additional income stream. I will tell you, just like Rachel said, you know, she teaches people how to make $100 to $20,000 a week. There's significant income with this. If that's something that you're interested in, my moral and ethical obligation is that everyone needs to have this information as an option to your family. And I believe these products need to be in every household. So the next step, text whoever asked you to be on this, "I'm in, I'm interested," and they'll get with me and get on my schedule, and we'll schedule a phone call so I can give you additional information. There's multiple different packages, there's multiple different discounts, you know, that, and pick the package and the, you know, whatever protocol is correct for your family. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you so much for taking the time tonight, and we will talk to you later. Bye.